Meet Dora, a baby muriqui. For this youngster, growing up wild is one giant adventure. To survive in Brazil's Atlantic forest, Dora must learn to cope with life at the top. Born high in the trees, clinging tightly to Mum is the only way to survive. But in the canopy, Dora's greatest challenge will be learning to let go. All across South America, baby animals are taking their first steps and tackling their first challenges. Their generations are the future of their species. They are the new kids in the wild. High above the ground, a cold mist drifts through the canopy of this Brazilian forest. Curled up against the chill, this ball of fur is Mimi, a female southern muriqui, one of the rarest monkeys on Earth. And she's a new mum. This is Dora. She was born just a month ago and has been clinging tightly to her mother's fur ever since. Dora is a very special new kid in the wild. Less than 1,300 of her species remain. For the last 4 weeks, these two precious monkeys have been glued together like this in their unique forest home. Blanketing the steep slopes of Brazil's Serra do Mar mountains, this is the Atlantic forest. Rivaling the mighty Amazon when it comes to biodiversity. It's home to 26 species of monkey, including muriqui, the largest primates in South America. Over 90% of the original forest has been lost to human activity, but it still stretches right across Brazil's coastline, into Argentina and Paraguay. At its heart is the Carlos Botelho Park. Dora was born at the start of Brazil's winter, and today temperatures have dropped to just above freezing. Surprisingly chilly for a tropical forest. It's the coldest morning in her young life, and she snuggles into her mum's woolly fur for warmth. Fortunately, hugging is what her species does best. Her whole troop are at it, looking for a partner to embrace. It's also what gave them their nickname, the hippie monkeys. The rising sun warms the forest, but the loving continues. Dora's mum and the rest of the group hug for hours, not just for warmth. there's no real hierarchy in this troop. Cuddling maintains bonds and builds close-knit relationships throughout the group. So even the biggest kids still find time for hugs with Mum. At just a month old, Dora's only interest is clinging to her mother 24 hours a day. The canopy is a precarious place to grow up. Dora's nursery is 70 meters above the ground. Her mum and the older muriqui spend most of their lives casually hanging around, 20 stories up. For now, instinctively, Dora always keeps one hand firmly locked on her mother's fur. She was born with this strong grip. The only thing keeping her on board as Mimi moves through the trees. If Dora were to fall, her mum probably couldn't risk trying to save her. But Mimi is a careful mother and will gently transport her baby around like this for the next 2 years. The forest floor is far more dangerous for a monkey than the treetops. Dora's father is also part of the group. But he doesn't know it. With no hierarchy, there is no conflict over breeding rights. So Mimi and the other females mate with all of the group's males. The free-loving family dynamic is all part of Dora's hippie monkey canopy community. These monkeys have a reputation for relaxing. But by late morning, hunger always starts to call. For Mimi, especially. She must eat more than usual to produce enough milk to feed Dora around the clock. Today, Rosa, the oldest female, is taking the lead. She often chooses where and when they'll eat. But this morning, she's taking her time. Finally, Rosa swings into action. A hungry Mimi doesn't waste any time following. She must keep up with Rosa. Dora squeezes even tighter. It's a wild ride for a baby monkey. Dora's tiny fingers are the only thing between her and a fatal fall. Driven by hunger, the usually slow-moving troop appears to be fueled by a more ferocious appetite on these cold winter days. They move at surprising speed through the canopy, thanks to the anatomy of their hands. They have no thumbs, allowing them to hook onto the branches as they swing. Rosa knows the annual cycle of every tree of this forest and has led the others on a pre-planned route to the best seasonal spot in town. Lauracia trees, a favourite of the troop, and for good reason. They fruit even during the cold winter. It's a tasty sugar injection, great for a mum providing milk. But Mimi also needs her greens. And to get the freshest leaves, Mimi and her acrobatic troupe rely on another extraordinary evolutionary gift: their tails. It can grip just like a hand, acting as an extra limb. Coiled firmly around a branch, it allows them to lean further out and go hands-free. The leaves provide muscle-building amino acids, giving the monkeys enough strength and endurance to dangle like this for hours. Dora has so far been clamped full-time to her mother and survives solely on milk. But in a few weeks, she'll begin to taste what the forest has to offer. Her tummy full of leaves and fruit, Mimi takes a nap in the canopy. But Dora is restless. She decides now is the moment to loosen her grip. Reaching out from Mimi for the first time. Since birth, Dora has been permanently connected to Mimi's furry coat. But now, Dora uses her strong grip to swing from the branch. If only for a moment. Emboldened, she even decides to give tail hanging a go. Twisting her tail around a branch, and then around Mum. Dora discovers it's as strong as an arm. Now, to try and hang from it. Gradually, Dora goes for it. She's hanging over nothing but air. But she needs both her arms and her tail for safety. It's still a momentous achievement for Dora. While her mum was sleeping through it all. Dora didn't venture far. But teetering above such a long drop was still a bit scary. So it's back to Mimi for a warm hug. While Dora practices her new climbing skills, the rest of the troop are still snacking. And they're making quite a mess. Way down below. Their leftovers are providing enough food to quite literally feed an army. These leafcutter ants will turn trash into treasure. Many mouths make short work, stripping the fruit to its seed pod. The ants gather these gifts from above, alongside other leaves and shoots, marching it all back to the nest in unison. It's a royal feast. But not all for the ants themselves. Much of this haul is for the ant colony's garden. These leafcutter ants are cultivators. Having developed an extraordinary symbiotic relationship with fungi. The foraged leaves and fruits dropped by the muriqui are then fed to the fungus by the ants. In return, the fungus is the primary food source for the colony's larvae. As the ants source more leaves to feed the garden, their constant cutting encourages new growth in the forest. And their nest below breaks down all the plant matter, adding nutrients to the soil. Without knowing, the ants and Dora's troop above are all working together as part of a web of life that keeps their precious forest home lush and healthy. Oblivious to the micro-kingdom below, Dora is exhausted and ready for bed. Rosa leads the troop back to their favourite sleeping trees to settle in for the night. During the winter, they will often find the biggest tree they can, large enough for them all to rest. But Mimi and Dora are struggling to find a cuddle buddy. No luck here. Rejected. Again. Wriggly babies aren't the most popular sleeping companions. Finally, persistence pays off. It's been a long day, full of achievements for Dora. Mimi has no problem getting this little monkey to settle. As soon as the sun sets, the chill returns to the Atlantic forest. These cold nights continue for the next 2 months. Winter is now almost over. The muriqui troop is waking to slightly warmer temperatures. Dora is now 3 months old. Her troop's usual morning hugging ritual is interrupted by some noisy neighbors. Intimidating territorial calls is no way for Dora to start the day. The cause of the ruckus? Brown howler monkeys living up to their name. Each monkey's enlarged throat acts like a megaphone, amplifying their howls up to 8 kilometers. Dora is just a few trees away, and the noise is unbearable. Though she has nothing to fear, it's just male howlers showing off. And Dora's laid-back troop gets on with everyone. Fights with other monkeys are almost unheard of. The two species live in harmony, and like Dora's group, these howlers have their own little ones to take care of. The tiny howlers also have devoted mums, just like Mimi. But these little babies only get 1 year of full childcare. Spoilt little Dora will get twice as long. After their early wake-up call, the muriqui are now settling down for breakfast. But something below sets off the nearby howlers once again. Down on the forest floor, an irara is approaching. A relative of the wolverine, he is an expert climber. Often hunting small monkeys high up in the canopy. He may be at home in the trees, but so are the muriquis. He needs to move quickly if he wants to get close enough to pounce. A full-grown muriqui, like Mimi, would be too strong. But little Dora is an easy target. But with the alarm raised, Dora hangs on as Mimi heads off in full flight mode. Without the element of surprise, he won't be hunting monkeys today. The muriqui may sometimes be bothered by the noisy howlers. But it was their warning calls that gave Mimi a chance to move off to a safer part of the forest. After such a commotion, the troop are in search of a drink. "70 meters up, there are no ponds or rivers. So the troop must find an alternative. The bromeliad plant. Unlike most species, these distinctive plants don't need soil to grow. Their roots wrap around trees. They collect water in a small reservoir in their rosette, the perfect cup. The troop quenches their thirst in this treetop water source. And Dora has witnessed a useful new trick. Though she still gets all the liquid she needs from Mum's milk. As the last days of winter linger on, the troop still need to spend much of their time eating. They need the energy to stay warm at night. In her first 3 months, Dora has only ever tasted milk. But today, she's feeling experimental. A cautious lick of these leaves delivers her first ever taste of real food. She likes it, so follows up with some lichen. She'll grow up to eat over 145 different kinds of plant by watching her mum and then having a nibble herself. She's learning which ones are edible. These first tastes of foliage mark the beginning of her weaning. But she only wants to satisfy her curiosity, not her hunger. She can still get milk whenever she needs it. And even though she's growing up, will continue to suckle for another 2 years. Dora has already experimented with her taste buds today. Now, she wants to test out her tail. It should be strong enough. But letting go with her feet takes bravery. Almost. There. Free hanging from her tail, just like her mum. Dora is now the furthest she's ever been from Mimi. But not too far. Dora makes sure to stay within hugging distance. If there's one thing Dora has learned, it's that her family spend a lot of time eating. So she continues her own culinary adventure. It's these leaves that give her older relatives their distinctive pot bellies. The tough, fibrous cuisine means they need extra long intestines for digestion. As the foliage is low nutrition, Dora's family have to eat all day long. And without knowing it, the little monkey's family are also acting as the farmers of this Atlantic forest. As they roam, any seeds they swallow are then spread to the forest floor in their droppings. Each one is a natural seed bomb. Without seed dispersers like the muriqui, plant reproduction can shrink by as much as 90%. There may be only a fraction of Atlantic forest left, but it still has a disproportionately huge amount of plant life. With over 20,000 varieties, the lush habitat accounts for around 8% of the world's plant species. It's not just the muriqui helping maintain this lush habitat. Industrious hummingbirds, buzzing around the forest feeding on nectar, pollinate flowers as they go. Many other creatures also help cultivate Dora's beautiful Atlantic forest. Babies like Dora aren't only the future of their species. She's also destined to play a role in nurturing this precious habitat, with a little help from her large family and her wild neighbors. It's been an eventful first winter for this little monkey. She's already reached the key muriqui milestones, learning to climb independently in the canopy, and started tasting the flavors of her future diet. But as Dora begins to grow up, her inseparable bond with Mimi will gradually begin to fade. 12 months later, Dora has more than doubled in size. She may be bigger, but still wants to be a mummy's girl. Mimi, meanwhile, is encouraging Dora to become more independent. It's a confusing time. Being carried is no longer an option for Dora. But she's still got another year before being fully weaned. Mimi tries to ignore Dora's attention-seeking. It doesn't stop Dora trying. Even when Mimi appears annoyed. Maybe an aunt will oblige. She's not playing ball either. Most muriqui females aren't interested in daycare. So, it's back to her own mum. Mimi eventually submits. And Dora gets what she was hoping for. Over the next year, Mimi will continue to reduce this one-on-one time until Dora is fully weaned, off milk and hugs. This is Anita, Dora's 5-year-old cousin. Anita's been independent of her mother for 3 years, providing a glimpse into Dora's future. Muriqui adults are social animals, but Anita is living away from the entire group. She's approaching sexual maturity, which means her life is no longer the same. There are too many females in the troop, and so instinct has told Anita it's time to move out. Exiled from the group, the young monkey is on the hunt for a new family. But with muriqui being so rare, it isn't proving easy. Anita's found a stand-in family for now. The howler monkey troop, living next door. The noisy but friendly neighbors. It's hard for Anita, leaving her family behind, but it ensures genetic diversity within the muriqui troop, avoiding inbreeding, meaning they stay healthy and strong. So important for these incredibly rare monkeys. No longer stuck to her mum's side, Dora is also looking to make new friends. she needs playmates for company as she becomes more independent. The best way to bond is to join them and hang out. Literally. Dora will also need new friends to cuddle up to. Now her mum seems less keen on a hug. Playtime is so much fun, even if it gets a bit rough. Their favourite game is a bit scary. Pull the tail off the tree. Above a 70-metre drop, it's a risky pursuit. But Dora's acrobatic skills have come a long way. She gives as good as she gets. Each of their tails is unique, with a smooth underside sporting individual markings, just like a fingerprint. Dora enjoys all this mischievous fun with her friends. No monkey's tail is safe in this game. Dora clinging onto her mum all day long is a distant memory. She's become a highly adept free runner of the forest, easily keeping pace with her new friends. But Mimi and the other adults don't seem that impressed. They are sleeping again. When Dora is ready to have her own children, like Anita, she will be forced to leave these new friends behind and join a new troop. But right now, she's still breastfeeding, albeit less and less frequently. That's because she's no longer just tasting her food. She's eating the leaves, and lots of them. This is actually her biggest stride yet towards full independence. When it comes, it will be a welcome moment for Mimi. Dora's weaning will mean Mimi will be able to mate again. As close as the bond is with her daughter, she cannot afford for anyone to cramp her style. As with all things muriqui, courtship and mating will be a calm and peaceful affair. When ready, Mimi will mate with most of the males, who are all patiently waiting until Dora has left the scene. And once love is in the air, there will be no more suckling for Dora. If all goes to plan, 7 months later, Mimi will have another new kid in the wild, requiring all her attention. As the year goes on, Dora's dependence on her mum is fading with every day. But the two are still close. They even enjoy hanging out together. But as Dora continues her adventures in the Atlantic forest canopy, Mimi gets more time to do what Mimi loves best: resting. As Dora approaches her second birthday, she's still not quite the finished article. She still has the odd fall, but always gets up again. And for a few more weeks at least, she still calls on her mum to take advantage of their last hugs together. Dora has come a long way. From a tiny baby clinging to Mimi for dear life, to learning the ways of the muriqui's extraordinary tale, and getting a taste for the Atlantic forest. In the process, Dora and her troop play a key role in maintaining the beautiful home they live in. Along the way, she's met some noisy neighbours and made some friends in the ultimate adventure playground. She's learned from the best. One day, she could have her own clingy monkey to take care of. And with just over 1,000 southern muriqui left in the wild, her species and the entire forest are counting on her. Meet Thiago, the baby coati. For this youngster, growing up wild is one giant adventure. To survive in the suburbs, Thiago must learn the law of the jungle and the rules of the road. In his first year, he'll find out who and what to avoid. His mum will be there to teach him. But eventually, Thiago must face life's biggest obstacles without her. All across South America, baby animals are taking their first steps and tackling their first challenges. Their generations are the future of their species. They are the new kids in the wild. Morning in the dense forests surrounding the Brazilian city of Campo Grande. The trees are home to a highly adaptable animal family who've learned to take advantage of both these wild forests and the urban jungle. It may be rush hour in the city, but in their wild oasis, these curious creatures are only just waking up. This is Coco. She's a coati mum and has lived here for the last 4 years. She's part of a big family, a band of more than 20. And recently, it got a lot bigger. Coco's 6 new babies, known as kittens, are excited. They have spent their first 4 weeks safe in their nest. But today, they're exploring the branches for the very first time. Already heading off on his own is Thiago. He moves with confidence, unfazed by the drop below. But his climbing skills still need work. Mum steps in, demonstrating a part of the coati's unique anatomy that makes them so agile. Unlike monkeys, they don't have gripping tails or hands. Instead, their double-jointed ankles rotate 180 degrees, allowing for an effortless descent, head first. It's not easy, but Thiago dives straight in. His 5 brothers aren't so confident. Thiago appears to be the bravest of this bunch. Coco and Thiago demonstrate the technique again. One by one, the others pluck up the courage. They've learnt the very first lesson of coati school, vital for moving around their home. This isn't just any forest. It's right next to the huge city of Campo Grande. Situated in Brazil's Mato Grosso do Sul district, the coati's home is unique as they aren't the only ones living there. Over 900,000 people live in the city. And it's alive with human activity. The forest is like a green belt wrapping around the city. It's home to dozens of thriving coati families. A few days later, Thiago is ready for an even more important lesson on the coati curriculum. Where to find food in the forest. Using his rapidly developing climbing skills, an enthusiastic Thiago is at the front of the pack. Coco leads them down to the forest floor to go further than they have ever been before. It's a strange, new world. But Thiago is undaunted. He has poor eyesight, but makes up for it with his most impressive body part. Coati's noses can rotate 60 degrees, helping search for hidden treasures in the undergrowth. If he picks up a scent, his sharp claws and long snout are perfect for unearthing potential prey. Letting his nose guide the way, hungry Thiago is getting stuck in. He's on to something good. Rotten wood full of insects and grubs. Not bad for his first day foraging. The others too are digging in. Distracted by eating, the youngsters are vulnerable. But they have a natural instinct to help keep them safe. Tails high in the air whilst eating helps Coco keep an eye on them in the tall vegetation. And it's not just their own mum. Coco and the other females all take care of each other's young, allowing the little kittens to explore, play, and most importantly, eat in safety. Spoiling the youngsters means Thiago and all this year's kittens will grow fast and become useful members of the band as soon as possible. Thiago's thirst for adventure is gradually rubbing off on his brothers. But in such dense undergrowth, keeping track of 6 lively coati kittens requires Coco's full attention. Even with their trademark tails. To keep them in check, Coco uses a tried and tested system of expert communication. As the youngsters roam, Coco and the adults chat constantly, keeping tabs on the little ones. And with Thiago leading the gang astray, the chattering is non-stop. Coco needs her family's full attention, as she's taking them somewhere very special. Thiago's forest domain borders an urban jungle on the other side of the tracks. A city like Campo Grande brings many benefits. like a plentiful supply of food all year round. But Coco also needs to teach Thiago the dangers of the streets. One of his older cousins was recently clipped by a car and still has the limp to prove it. Despite the risks, Thiago and the kittens must learn the rules of this foreign land. Today is as good a day as any to start. The adults lead, but the kittens hold back. Thiago cautiously follows and takes his first look outside the forest. It's all a bit too daunting, even for Thiago. But a few minutes later, he's back. This time, he brings his siblings. Out in the open, it's easier for the adults to keep track of the kittens. And the little ones immediately reap some rewards. This grassy verge has lots of worms and roots to chew on. But it all feels exposed. Even Thiago isn't quite as confident outside of the sheltering forest. The kittens all stick to Coco like glue, as the whole band make their way slowly towards the road that marks the edge of the city. Thiago's not quite ready to brave the highway. But the day's urban foraging mission isn't over. The band are now heading to a nearby suburb on this side of the road. Campo Grande is huge. Coco has the whole area mapped out in her head. And she knows exactly where she's taking them next. She's brought them here to experience Campo Grande's most sought-after delicacy. Mangoes. The juicy fruit is packed with sugar. With mangoes everywhere, Thiago doesn't know where to start. When eating, usually the kittens get first seat at the table. But with a feast like this, normal etiquette goes out of the window. And they can all eat at the same time. When a cheeky Thiago tries to steal Coco's dessert, she doesn't mind letting him have a small taste. But then reminds him there is so much to go around. He can get his own. And they aren't the only ones cashing in on the prize fruit. The world's largest rodents have also come into town for dinner. The coatis foraging in the trees are serving up even more fresh mangoes for these capybara below. They also have hungry babies in tow, learning when and where to find the secret culinary treasures of Campo Grande. On today's outing, Thiago and his brothers have already learned some valuable foraging lessons, both in the forest and here in the city. Everyone is fueled up and ready to go. Coco decides it's time for another test for the youngsters. A shortcut home, which will mean their first road crossing. Collisions with cars are one of the biggest killers of coati. Fortunately, Coco has picked a relatively quiet suburban road. A good place to learn traffic safety. Some adults are downright blasé about it. Stopping to pick up roadside mangoes is playing with fire. The adults have crossed much busier roads than this. Thiago, on the other hand, has never seen a car until today. Traffic can come from either direction, so they need to cross quickly. But an extra juicy mango is dangerously distracting. This is no time for a picnic. Coco sounds the alert. Road crossing lesson 1 complete. And then it's on to the next of today's major obstacles. They've made this trip hundreds of times. One lucky coati even finds a hole big enough for him and his mango. But further along the fence, Thiago doesn't have it so easy. Conquering this man-made mountain will require some thought. Each kitten tries its own approach. Overhanging branches help this acrobat. Some attempt to squeeze through. Others take on the climb, now using their double-jointed ankles to good effect. Thiago isn't quite sure which route to take. He starts to climb, but then thinks he's found a shortcut. Why go over when you can simply go through? But he's misjudged the size of the hole. Push or pull, he is well and truly stuck. Coco watches on. Her teeth aren't strong enough to chew through metal. "20 minutes later, and he hasn't budged. He's becoming exhausted, and sundown is fast approaching. Exposed to the elements, he'd be lucky to survive the night. And Thiago's situation only gets worse. A hungry tegu is patrolling for roadside scraps. The lizard couldn't normally catch a coati, but a stuck Thiago is an easy target. Thiago manages to summon one last frantic burst of energy. Finally, he's free. One very lucky coati. Safely back with Coco, Thiago's tail is not quite as high as it was this morning. The reunited family start to head home. When suddenly, the rainforest delivers one of its trademark downpours. Time to make a dash for the shelter of the forest. But some need a helping hand, or rather, a mouth. As the shower starts to evolve into a storm, the band makes it to their forest home. The canopy shields them from the rain. But Thiago is already thoroughly soaked. He's struggling to get any grip on the really slippery branches. After all the drama in the city, Thiago's day still isn't over. While the rest of his siblings have already managed to reach the top of the tree, he's getting nowhere. Eventually, Mum comes to Thiago's rescue. And he's up. Today has been a bit of a wake-up call for the usually capable and confident Thiago. But now, time to relax. Even if he is soaked through. The rain has set in, and all of Campo Grande's wild residents are in for a wet night. Some are more happy about this than others. It takes days for the rain to pass. Though there are benefits to the wet weather. The family now have plenty of fresh pools to quench their morning thirst. After a quick drink, Coco rallies her kittens. After holing up in the forest waiting out the rain, she's eager to take them back into town. Despite his close call last time, Thiago seems ready for this mission, which will take him even further into the urban jungle. But he's making sure to stick close to Mum. Coco knows many prime feeding opportunities deep in the city. She leads the kittens on the safest path she can find through the network of roads. She's on high alert. But crossing roads is always risky. Cars kill more coati in Campo Grande than anything else. Thiago and family make it safely into town, where the busy roadsides offer a bounty of human leftovers. The expansion of Campo Grande and the associated trash has made it all too convenient for the coatis to develop a taste for these easy pickings. Each time Coco moves them on, there are more roads to cross. But the promise of even tastier snacks is impossible to resist. The city's residents are used to seeing their wild neighbors that now emerge from the forests on the hunt for food. As they move through the streets, Thiago's full of energy, his former confidence now fully restored. He's doing his best to keep pace with Coco, despite his tiny legs. But his mum's next target lies on the other side of the city's busiest road. The highway. A direct crossing would mean certain death. But clever Coco knows a safer route. The underpass. It's another life lesson for Thiago as he gradually picks up the rules of the road from his resourceful mum. And the rewards are worth it. Stocked up with the morning's litter pickings, the adults are ready for a quick nap among the trees on this tiny wooded traffic island. Despite being surrounded by busy roads, this grassy patch creates a haven of safety while they rest. But there's not much peace to be had with Thiago and the gang around. Taking advantage of Campo Grande's urban environment is crucial for Thiago's development. Learning these secrets of the city will be vital when Thiago doesn't have his mum to lead the way. As they move on yet again, Thiago is constantly taking in his surroundings, making his own mental map of the city. And this suburban neighborhood looks familiar to him. It seems Coco has brought them in a wide loop and they are heading for home. But they'll be eating as they go. Thiago is quickly learning that food is his main pastime. Coco has a sweet tooth, so she is on the lookout for some dessert. Fallen berries from street-side trees are washed down nicely with fresh water. Although the humans around here tolerate wildlife, people often come hand in hand with one of the coati's most dangerous foes. Dogs enjoy chasing anything small and furry and are a lethal threat, even to a full-size coati like Coco. The band can easily avoid the dogs behind fences. But Campo Grande's street dogs are another story. And this one has picked up their scent. Panicked, most of the band dive under the fence and make for the treetops. But Coco, Thiago, and his smallest brother have been left behind. They had wandered off looking for the mangoes, and they are caught on the wrong side of the fence. Alone and out in the open, they are easy targets. Desperate to reunite with the band, Coco calls out loudly. The dog is moving closer. She needs to get to the other side of the fence, quickly. But Thiago and his brother are frightened by the nearby barking, so need encouragement. With the dog getting too close, there is no time to make it to the rest of her family on the other side of the fence. Quick-thinking Coco takes her sons up a nearby tree. Just in the nick of time. Another near miss for Thiago. They can now relax. The dog can't reach them up here, and he soon gets bored. There are over 5,000 other coatis in Campo Grande for him to terrorize. Finally, with the dog gone, Coco takes Thiago and his brother back under the fence to be reunited with his siblings. Thiago has been further initiated into the dangers of city life. Despite his misadventures, so far he's enjoyed life as a spoilt baby coati, getting first dibs at dinner time and 24-hour attention from Coco and the other members of the band. But this way of life won't go on forever for Thiago. Over the next year, he will learn all he can from his mother Coco to prepare himself to go it alone. Now, over a year old, baby Thiago has grown rapidly into a healthy, juvenile coati. Always adventurous, nowadays his self-confidence serves him well, as increasingly he spends time alone. But he's thriving, thanks to all the lessons he learned from Coco in his first 12 months. Thiago and his brothers definitely aren't the babies of this band anymore. A whole new batch of kittens arrived on the scene last month. Younger cousins mean Thiago's life is about to change even more drastically. Just like when he was a baby, all the adults are fully focused on the new kittens. Thiago tags along on the daily hunts beyond the fence for food, but no longer gets to eat first. In just the last few weeks, he's gone from top of the social ladder to the bottom. Not quite fully grown, Thiago still tries his luck, sneaking up on his mum and aunt, trying to take their food. But gets a sharp telling off. The adults won't tolerate his presence for much longer. Over the next few days, Thiago is slowly getting the message, and now exclusively dines alone. But he's become a skilled food finder. Today, he's found a jambalan tree with plenty of berries. Thiago has more than doubled in size since he was born, so he's not as light on his feet. It's a fine balancing act to get to the best berries. He's clearly learned how and where to find a variety of food. That will be an asset in his next phase as an adult coati. He's outgrown his own band. and is now being treated almost like an intruder by the adults, even his own mum. The rejection is harsh, but it's the reality of coatist society. Thiago's mum and the other females are the core of the group. They only have one male as a full-time member. While Thiago's sisters get to stay in the family, he and his brothers must all find their own path. But they aren't ready to go it alone. Thiago's always been a strong leader, and with his ability to track down food, the exiled teenagers decide to stick with him and form a bachelor group. Now bigger, they use their combined size to become a formidable force in Campo Grande. Away from the kittens, they are free to explore and get the first pick of whatever they find. It's the start of an exciting new adventure for Thiago. Where he leads, the others follow. Their inner city hunting ground provides all they need. Lots of places for a quick drink. And surprise treats around every corner. With Thiago leading the way, things are on the up. Literally. Rooftops make for handy shortcuts. It's a good way of avoiding traffic, people, and especially dogs. Now they are bigger, Thiago takes the gang to one of Campo Grande's most sought-after eateries. For coati, anyway. Wheelie bins. They are packed with fresh trash, brimming with leftovers. Thiago gets stuck in, head first. When they were smaller, the coati would have been unable to climb out of the massive bins. Now, it's no problem. And there's plenty for the bachelors to rifle through. And all the buildings have them. A new foraging ground for this new band of coati. As Thiago carves his own path, rifling through trash will just be part of his life living alongside humans. For better or worse, Thiago will always make the most of any opportunity that arises. Even heading in for a tourist photo in return for a tasty snack. It's not the usual way for coatis to find food, but it has become part of their survival here in Campo Grande. He's adapting well to bachelor life. And he can stay out in the city for as long as he likes. He may no longer have the comfort of his mum Coco, but he has his brothers for now. Thiago was born in the wild, but like all the coati near Campo Grande, he must continue to find a balance between his wild and urban homes. This is the only way coati can continue to thrive as the city expands. Thanks to the skills he's learned, he's ready. It's been an eventful first year for Thiago. Since he left the safety of his nest, he's had to learn on the job. Conquering his wild and city homes has been a baptism of fire. But every lesson learned, even if it was the hard way, will stand him in good stead. He knows how to provide for himself and what to avoid in Campo Grande. A fine leader, Thiago still has his band of brothers. But when he reaches sexual maturity, he'll strike out alone. When the time is right, he'll mate and ensure there will be plenty more little Thiagos on the streets of Campo Grande for years to come.